For those of you who will receive this word and you will get busy building the kingdom, you're about to see some you forgot, but you did. If you don't just keep giving, doing what he told you to do, walking on, and something gonna drop, and you're gonna say, Lord, what is this? And he gonna say, baby girl, you forgot, but I did.
Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Time to shift, where it's for you, real big stuff. Time to shift, level up women, now girl get up. Time to shift, where it's for you, we don't get stuck. Time to shift, level up women, now girl get up.
That's what a shift looks like.
For those of you who will receive this word and you will get busy building the kingdom, you're about to see some you forgot, but you did. If you don't just keep giving, doing what he told you to do, walking on, and something gonna drop, and you're gonna say, Lord, what is this? And he gonna say, baby girl, you forgot, but I did.
Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Time to shift, where it's for you, real big stuff. Time to shift, level up women, now girl get up. Time to shift, where it's for you, we don't get stuck. Time to shift, level up women, now girl get up.
That's what a shift looks like.
For those of you who will receive this word and you will get busy building the kingdom, you're about to see some you forgot, but you did. If you don't just keep giving, doing what he told you to do, walking on, and something gonna drop, and you're gonna say, Lord, what is this? And he gonna say, baby girl, you forgot, but I did.
Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Looking good on the outside, what you ain't noticed, the Lord's working on my inside, and I feel gorgeous. Time to shift, where it's for you, real big stuff. Time to shift, level up women, now girl get up. Time to shift, where it's for you, we don't get stuck. Time to shift, level up women, now girl get up.
That's what a shift looks like.
For those of you who will receive this word and you will get busy building the kingdom, you're about
Yeah, I can. Hey guys, I made it. It worked. It worked. Hold on a second. Hey babe, I think it's my computer because it like totally went off the Wi-Fi. Yeah. Hey guys, we're here. Come on. It's the day before Thanksgiving. I need you to tag all your friends. Let's talk about, especially if we're talking Black women, we're talking about what we can do financially to position ourselves. We're talking about position to prosper. And hey. So you know what I want you to do? I want you to hashtag live and tell me where you're watching from. I want you to give some hearts, some love, some feed, all of that different stuff. It's going to be a great day. We're going to have a great conversation to give you something to think about as you finish your Thanksgiving dinner or as you travel, something to talk to your kids and your family about, because I think that this is an important conversation. And I think that it's so important that we make the right choices that are going to cause us to prosper, because we all know 3 John says that it's the will of God for us to prosper and to be in health, even as our soul prospers. I just want to say nobody asked for this, but we can tell that it's been cold in Northwest Arkansas because y'all see I'm getting my sugar cookie look back. I was so brown this summer because we did all this brown stuff, and now I'm starting to match my hair, but it's cool. I'm still cute. Anyway, so we want to talk about position to prosper. So I want you to hashtag position to prosper. I want you to tag somebody. I want you to share this with somebody. If you're a first timer, I want you to say hi to me. And I want you to grab a notebook and some paper, and let's have this conversation. Let's have this critical, crucial, important conversation, this critical, crucial, and important conversation, because I need you to know that we still have options. That's what I need you to know. I need you to know that God still has plans for us. I need you to know that God still has purpose for us, that God still has wealth for us in spite of what is happening. But I want to tell you some things. I want to help you manage your thinking, feeling cycle. I want to help you shift. I want to help you grow up to be in a position to really be able to prosper. Are you with that? If you're with that, say, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Thank you to the people that are sharing. I can see that Sheila shared and got Vivian on here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But I know that there are a lot of people, you're out shopping, you're doing whatever, but I still think that we can have more people to come to this conversation, because I think it's so incredibly important. It's so incredibly important. Now, I think that everybody knows. Michelle says she with me. Let's see if anybody else is with me. Vivian says, I'm with you. Evelyn says, position to prosper. Let's go. Let Dawn says, I'm with you. I'm with you. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so I want to talk about, you guys know I am not new to this. For almost a decade, I have been an advocate for Black women building wealth. I have been an advocate, not in an exclusionary way. If you can right now, if you would go and look at the post that I just made just before I went live, and I was talking about how, and I got to say this, whenever I make posts like this, it always gets so quiet on my Facebook page. And I think that this is, I think that this is so important, that we got to have this major mindset shift. Because whenever I talk about, let me tell you kind of what bugs me. And it bugs me because I know when we don't change, I know that we stay in pain. If you are struggling financially right now, I want you to hear me. If you do not change, you will keep the financial pain. That sounds like something Jesse Jackson would have said years ago. But I'm telling you, if you do not change, you are going to keep the same financial pain. I know that has got to be pretty scary when we're talking about a new administration and tariffs and inflation going up. But I really need you to hear me. If you do not change, you will keep the same financial pain. If you struggled in 2024, if 2024 was a financial year of struggle for you, and if you've had a history of struggling, because anybody can have a bad year. but you've had a history of struggling, I think it's so incredibly imperative for you to understand that it is way past time for you to do something different. Let me also say this. I know that when we're making changes in any area of our lives, whether we're trying to change our weight or whether we're trying to change, how we handle trauma or whether we're trying to change our finances, that it is going to take work. We have to become intentional about our thinking. And you guys have heard me say some of this before, that I love the church. I love Black women. I'm always going to advocate for the church. But one of the things that concerns me a lot about Black women is that I think many of you use church as an escape. For example, somebody will be like, I listened to so-and-so preach today. Pastor Sean, I left church on Sunday and I went to 3 more services. Okay, that's great. You guys know I am not against people sitting in the word. But when you got through with all that word, what did you do? Because I think that this is so important, guys. And I need you to make sure that you check in and you understand this. Saying is not doing. Saying that I believe I receive hydration from water is not the same as drinking water. Saying that I am about to prosper while I am not doing anything to position myself to prosper, it is going to lead me to disappointment. And I want us to stop using church as a place to get high. I want us to stop using church as a place to put a Band-Aid on the pain. And I want us to really begin to use church for what it's designed for, which is to help us grow up. So I want to talk to you about the post that I made just a little bit before. And then I'm going to, keep sharing, keep hearting, do all the things that help me get engagement. So I made this post about an hour ago, and here's what it says. It says, why do I gear my wealth building teaching towards Black women? If you haven't liked this post, I encourage you to like and engage with it. Here are a few stats from 2024 data. When it comes to retirement assets, Black women have an average of $11,200 in retirement assets compared to $403,000 for white men and $145,000 for Black men. Whoa. Wealth. Black women have an average of $24,993 in financial assets compared to $100,045 for all women and $51,369 for Black men. So you can see that there is a gap. You can see that there's a gap. Let me keep going. I'm not going to read them all. I'm going to read 2 more. Emergency savings. 39% of Black women have an emergency savings account compared to 47% of U.S. adults. That tells me that way too many Black women 61% of Black women do not have an emergency account. That's why I need your hearts, your fire. I need you texting your friends saying, get on this live, because I am not here to preach to you today. I am here to help you prepare so that you can break this struggle. But number 7, the last one that I'm going to use, is that 71% of Black women feel that they live paycheck to paycheck. Can somebody put in the comments, enough is enough? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. So I think that this is so incredibly important that we have this conversation, because we know that a lot of people were disappointed, mainly the 92% of Black women were disappointed because of the upcoming election. So I need to tell you this, and I need you to write this in the comments. I need you to text somebody, a Black woman this. I need you to put it in the comments and put it on your piece of paper. So that's 3 times. 1 for the Father, 1 for the Son, and 1 for the Holy Ghost. Okay? No one cares more about your financial freedom than you. No one. So if you don't care, it's going to suck. No one cares more about your financial freedom than you. No one is more impacted by your lack of this 71% of women. These 71% of women who struggle financially, who live paycheck to paycheck, your boss doesn't care about that. The government doesn't care about that. You need to care. Now, here's what typically begins to happen in this. It's hard to look at your finances and say, I'm not where I want to be. That's a hard place. I've been there. It's a hard place to be, right? And what I think that we do sometimes is we go, okay, it is easier for me to go listen to someone preach. It is easier for me, to spend an hour in prayer. It is easier for me to do these things because I am familiar with these things than it is for me to learn what would change. Is that tracking? Is that making sense to you guys? Is that making sense? Because I think that is so incredibly important. I think that's so important. I think we got to have this conversation. And so I feel, as someone who's been doing this for a long time, that Black women love to hear that we're getting ready to see, but they fade to black. Many of you fade to black when we talk about the thing that is necessary for you to see. So today I want to give you a couple of conversations, and I want you to pay attention to where you are potentially being distracted. Nobody cares more about my financial freedom than me. I have to take responsibility for my financial freedom. One of the things that really bugs me, it bugs me really, 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 it irritates me so bad, is that I know that Black women can learn. And I know that Black women can learn because the research tells me that there is nobody more educated in this nation than Black women. And so it bugs me that we have been convinced that we can get master's degrees, doctorate degrees, become medical doctors, become engineers, become computer scientists, become teachers, become all of these things. But we have been duped into believing that we cannot understand investment. And so as a result, even though we go and make our money, we're not giving our money an assignment as a whole. Let me tell you another thing that bugs me. Another thing that really bugs me is how many Black women I see, and understand we become what we become. We're shaped based on our environment. That when people consistently present to us that wealth is the vacation, that wealth is the shoes, that wealth is the luxury bags, then what it does for a lot of women is it makes you think you're winning because you can take a $5,000 trip when you don't have $5,000. And I know that is work that requires a soul shift. I know that is work that requires a soul shift, because if the visuals are that, hey, you are successful because you can buy this bag, you are successful because there is a documentary on called Buy, and I haven't watched it, and I don't plan to, and I'll tell you why I don't plan to, but it's talking about how we're programmed to spend our money. So if we're in this environment that is programming all of the world to spend their money a certain way, and we want to change our financial future, then we have to become intentional about creating another environment. That's why Soul Shift events exist. That's why I have events like $1 Million Expert, because I'm trying to create an incubator. I'm trying to create a space where Black women have the safety and the courage to move forward financially. So I need us to hear this. Everybody take a deep breath, take a deep breath, take a deep breath. I know it is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and I know that some of y'all are willing to fade to black, but please don't. You cannot stop the tariffs and the inflation from coming. And one of the things that makes me a little sad sometimes is that I watch us. You know, if you get on Facebook today and you say something like, oh, we tried to tell y'all that this was going to happen. Okay, we tried to tell them. They didn't listen. Now what? Now what? Okay, we were right. But according to the stats, we're going to be impacted more than anybody. So who cares that we were right? What are we going to do? And I feel like we waste way too much time having conversations about how somebody else was right, wrong. We tried to tell them, you tried to tell them, but you still don't. You still in the 71% living paycheck to paycheck. We have to do something. And one of the things that anybody who's close to me knows is that because I really can, I care a lot about people. And because I care a lot about people, injustice really gets on my nerves. I mean, it get on my last nerves. So I had to learn about 15 years ago that if I wasn't going to have a stroke, if I wasn't going to have a nervous breakdown, if I wasn't going to end up dying prematurely, being an angry, bitter person, that instead of focusing on what was wrong, I had to focus on what I could do to help. That is literally, if you look at any of the work that I've done, if you look at Live Your Dreams, if you look at Black Women Build Wealth, if you look at Soul Shift, that has been my response to say, if all of these people are struggling in this area, I will do the work to learn how to create a solution for it. But I think that I think Apostle Robin is on here, and I said, I want us to listen faster. It is not that I don't think people are listening to me. It is that I don't think we're listening fast enough. And I think that part of the reason we don't listen fast enough is because we don't understand the urgency of what's coming. And for some people, you are so conditioned to be one of those people that live paycheck to paycheck that you actually need to deal with the part of your soul that wonders if something else is possible. But today, I want to talk about this. We can't stop the tariffs and inflation, but we can offset the impact. Somebody say offset the impact. I need your hearts. I need your fire. I need all of that stuff. You cannot stop it, but I can offset the impact. I can offset the impact, but I can only offset the impact if I make some different decisions. Okay? So I want to introduce this next soul shift to you. When we typically begin to talk about what we're going to do differently with our finances, many of you begin to go through your finances and you say you want to cut off waste. I don't want you to think cut off waste. Inner Circle already knows what I'm going to say. I want you to think, where can I reallocate my assets? I don't want you to say, oh, I'm going to cut out waste. I'm never going to Chick-fil-A. I'm not going to Chick-fil-A for the next year. I want us to say, where can I reallocate assets? So I'm going to give y'all some things to do, and then I'm going to tell you what I did, things I have personally done in my life in order to help in a situation like this. So we want to offset the impact. Now, if we're going to effectively offset the impact, guys, Etoy, Keisha, Kim, Dia, thank you all for joining. Lynn, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, Chandra Robin. If we're going to offset the impact, we don't have time. Let me just say, we ain't got time to be arguing. We don't have time to be out here trying to prove that we're right. I'm working on a sweatshirt. I hope Dia's working on me a sweatshirt that says, don't get mad, get rich. Don't get mad, get rich. I don't have time to be mad. And the reason that I don't have time to be mad is because being mad wastes my energy. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something that's gonna let you know the age I am. I'm 52. And this is something that old people say, like, you go be mad, but you go get mad in the same draws. You go get glad in the same draws you got mad in. I don't know if anybody heard that growing up, but the point is that when you get through being mad, it's gonna change. How long have you been frustrated by the injustice? How long have you been frustrated by the inequality of pay? How long have you been frustrated by the fact that you can put so much energy out here advocating for somebody else and nobody advocates for you? Haven't you been frustrated long enough? How about we take that frustration and we use it to fuel, and we say, I don't get mad, baby, I'm gonna get rich. Why am I going to get rich? Because financial freedom gives me options. Please write that down. Financial freedom gives me options. When I first started doing this work, I was so struggling because I never wanted to say I love money. Well, I do love money. I love money. Money's not the most important thing, but you know what I have learned? Money impacts everything that is important to me. So I love money. I just don't love money more than I love God. I just don't love money more than I love integrity. I just don't love money more than I love my family. But I do love money because money impacts everything that is important to me. Money impacts how much I can give to my church. Money impacts how much I can give when someone is hungry and someone needs a Thanksgiving dinner. Money impacts that. So I love money because I see money as a tool, and that tool allows me to take care of people. Money is a bad master, but it is a great tool. And so we have to shift our mindset. And we have to do the work, and we have to know that it's a process. So we have to learn to be gracious to ourselves while we hold ourselves accountable, which is why we're not about to go through our budget and say, oh, I can't believe I wasted all that money. We're going to say, that's what I was using the money for at that point. Now I'm about to reallocate. Okay. So what are some of our sayings for today? Don't get mad, get rich. We want to reallocate. We don't have time to beat ourselves up. There's no point in talking about what you should have done in your 30s when you're 50. You cannot go unless you got a time machine. And if you do, put all of us in it and let's go back together. But if you don't, that's a waste of time. Maybe you made a bad financial decision in the past. So what? Who hasn't? Get over it. All right, so I'm going to give you some practical things to do, and I'm going to tell you some things because I'm going to show you where you can find some money, okay? So one, I need you, this is the time of year that I need you checking the things you pay. For example, my husband, we had been with Nationwide for years, and they went up on our insurance again. Well, we got to have insurance. We got cars, we got a house, we have material possessions, we need insurance. And so my husband spent a couple of days researching and moved all of our cars to Allstate and saved us a significant amount of money. Now, this is so important. If you in this season right here, because we're reallocating. Okay, this is what I want y'all to do. I want everybody who doesn't have one already, and if you have an account, you can designate to this. If you can, I want you to open one up. I want you to get an investment account. Meaning, I just mean a savings account right now. I'm not talking about at a place. And then every time you reallocate some of this money, I want you to move it into that account. Because I think the truth of it is that some of you may be like me. And in the beginning, when I started doing this, I had to have a separate account. And I had to have a separate account because I didn't always have the discipline not to spend what was in the main account. And I don't just necessarily mean shopping. My biggest challenge has always been to not overgive, to not give when God is not telling me to give in a way that now, and I mean like investing in people who continue to make bad choices. So it's a waste of my seed. So I'm going to tell you one, I would begin to look at my car insurance. I would begin to look at my home insurance. I would begin to look at any subscription things that I have. Is there someone offering the same quality of service that I can get at a lower price? So you can't be knee jerk. You got to take some time. Some of you going to be off tomorrow. You're going to be off on Friday. You need to sit down and you need to look at that. How much am I, if I combine, for example, if I have Disney and if I have Hulu, do I know that if I just go to Disney, they are now incorporating Hulu in it so that I can now get rid of the cost of Hulu, take the price that I would normally pay for Hulu and put it in my investment account. Why? Because I need to have resources so that when opportunity comes, I am prepared. So those are two things. We're going to look at what we're currently spending on. There's a site called Rocket Money. One of the girls in Inner Circle gave us that. And I literally found a subscription that I had from my business because I used to need PDFs all the time before there came out with the new technology from that it was easier to convert PDFs, but I was still paying for that. So I was able to take that money and put that money in my investment account. Reallocation. Everybody say reallocation. So what else do I want you to do? In addition to checking your accounts, in addition to checking your investment accounts, I want you to check your savings accounts and make sure that you are getting the maximum interest on your accounts. Now, nobody's going to do that work for you. You're going to have to sit down. You're going to have to say best interest rates today. You're also going to have to understand this, that because the Fed, it's predicted that the Feds are going to reduce the interest rate. They're going to cut it by like 0.25, that it's going to drop the interest rates. But if you currently have an account right now that's paying 0.5 and you can find an account that's paying 3.9, that's increase. That's money for you doing nothing. Okay, so we're going to create us an investment account that's really a savings account because it is for our opportunity. Let's call it our opportunity account. I like that better. We're going to create an opportunity account. We're going to create an opportunity account, and we are going to move the funds we are reallocating where, guys? Come on and talk to your girl. Give me some hearts. Give me some fire. Give me some love today. What are we going to do? So we have an opportunity account. We're going to designate an account as an opportunity account. And then we're going to begin to walk through our current finances. And as we walk through our current finances, what are we going to do? I need your hearts. I need your fire. I need you to help get this top. We're going to send it to our opportunity account. Now, let me tell you something I did when I first started this. Anybody love Target? Baby, I'm a Target girl. Okay, I love me some Target. So when I first started doing this, I would go to Target because this is the trick, because sometimes you got to trick your mind. Do you know sometimes you would tell yourself that you do not have the money to save, but if I took you to the store, you would spend that money? So let me tell you what I would do. I would go to Target and I would get all the stuff I was normally going to get and I would put it in my account, in my basket. I would take it and I would bring it up in the self-checkout because I wasn't trying to make nobody else do all that work. I would look at the total and I would say, okay, you were about to spend $100 at Target. You can only spend $50. And now you must immediately move the $50 to the savings account, to the opportunity account. See that? That's how I trained myself. Because then you find out that you do have money. I was on my way to Chick-fil-A when I used to eat meat, and I was about to spend $8 on a meal. And I get there and I find out that I have enough rewards to get a free meal. I'm going to take that $8. I'm going to put it where? In my opportunity account. Hey, Yolanda, so good to see you. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's get in this. Let's have this conversation. Let's talk about some practical things to do. Let's talk about some practical things to do. I go to a restaurant. I was prepared to have the appetizer. I was prepared to have the meal. I was prepared to have a soda. I was prepared to have a dessert too. And then I remember that I'm trying to work on my Prosper Well body and I don't need all of those things. So then I say, I'm just going to have the meal and I'm going to have the dessert and I'm going to drink water and I'm going to take the money from the appetizer and the soda and I'm going to put it where? In my opportunity account. Why? Because I'm believing God for increase and I'm believing God for opportunity. Is this making sense? Some of you right now, while you're on this live, instead of saying you're going to do it later, you lying. You not going to do it later. Do it now. If you already have an account, you can say, you know what? Listen, this Capital One account, this Capital One account, it becomes my opportunity account. Is this helping you guys? Because what? We're not just, because we often think it takes big amounts to make big differences. And so we say, oh, I don't have $500 to invest. But if we went through your finances for the next 2 months, you probably do. You probably do. And Yolanda, one of the reasons I said do it now is because I know how we lie to ourselves. Like when I first was training myself to walk, I would say I was going to do it later, I was going to do it later. And then what happened is that later would come and it would be 9 o'clock at night. And now I'm trying to run around my house because I missed them up. Learn to do it now. Take the action. Let me ask you something. How many of you right now have somebody that you love that if they needed $50 right now, you would give them $50? If that's you right now, if right now somebody could call you, I could call you, your child could call you, your mama could call you, they could call you right now and they could say, I gotta have $50, and you could give them $50. I want you to put a 5 in the comments. You could give them $50. You would make it work. Put a 5 in the comments. Etoy said, if somebody asked her for $50 right now, Tamara said, look at all these people who said, if somebody asked them for $5, $50 right now, they're going to send it to them right now. That's what you told me, right? So right now, I need you to take that $50 and move it to your opportunity account. See what we did there? Because you matter too. So every one of you who just told me, when you have moved your $50 to your account, say done. Because if I had just told you to move $50, you'd have told me you didn't have it. No, you just told me that, right? Yolanda said it's done. Etoy said will do. I need to see the done. If you just told me that if I needed $50 right now, you would find a way to get me $50. Come on, Etoy, because that's where I'm going with this. I'm someone I love. Don said done. Kanisha said done. Let's see it. Come on. Latanya, come on. Listen. If you can find that, Robin said done. If you can find $50 for them, you can find $50 for you. I need you to renew your mind. You need a soul shift. Tamara Scott said done. Lakey said done. Dia said done. No, opportunity account. I like that. You do matter too. Done. Now you have something else towards opportunity. Black Friday, am I going to tell you not to shop? No, I'm not going to tell you not to shop. I'm going to ask you to remember yourself when you shop, not your present, but your future. So what are we looking at? We're looking at our accounts to see if there are places that we can scale back. For example, if we have a Hulu account and we have a Disney account, then what we can do is we can if we just get the Disney account, Disney now includes Hulu, so we can drop the Hulu account, but we go take the money from the Hulu account. We go put it where? Opportunity account. Tanisha said, I'm already doing that. I love it. Mia said, done. I'm not out here. I don't believe in cutback. I believe that God is a God of increase. I do believe that sometimes you have to reallocate. All right. So we're going to look at those. We're going to look for money, right? Now we're going to create an opportunity account. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set Kim Dennis. You know, I done added some extra stuff to this that went on my paper. So give me notes for this when this is over. Now we're going to set a monthly goal. how much can we find in our reallocation to put in our opportunity account? Kanisha done got worked up. She said, it's time to stop playing about me. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. How much can I find to put in my reallocation account? What can I find to put in my reallocation account? I look at my target. I'm normally spending $300 a month. Oh, baby, I can get most of the stuff I need and want and split that in half. Where can I take 10%? Where can I take 20%? Where can I take 30% without creating this thing of, oh man, I'll never get to do nothing? No, I get to do a lot of things and move my feet, and it's not your time. So don't do that. What are some of these subscriptions? Okay, so let's recap. No one cares more about your financial freedom than you do, so you have to care. Number two, you cannot stop the tariffs and the inflation, but you can offset the impact. You can offset. Thank you, Lynn. You can offset the impact. Why? We're going to make some different choices that are going to allow us to offset the impact. Number three, we are not thinking cut back. We are thinking reallocate. Baby, we just reallocate. I would normally get 3 sweatshirts. I'm only going to get 1. I'm going to take the money for the other 2. I'm going to put it where? In my opportunity account. Now, what are we going to look at? We're going to begin to look at stocks and crypto. Stocks and crypto. Why? Because your boss doesn't care that you don't have $1,000 in savings. Even if your boss likes you, they don't care. It's not their responsibility. And the government, Kimberly Rose said, Don, come on, move this money. Move this money. And I'm going to start doing this a lot on my lives because y'all are so kind and gracious to other people, but you don't treat yourself with that same grace. And the truth of it is that some of that eating and some of that shopping is because you're not doing yourself right in other areas. So we're going to work on that. We're going to work on it together. We got some programs coming up. We got Soul Shift Inner Circle Community opening up. We got a live event in February that's going to go live soon. You need to come and be a part of the work that we're doing over here. We just had a testimony today that one of the ladies in Inner Circle, that this was her first year making over $100,000, and she hit it today. I love it. Lynn says, I don't understand crypto. That's okay, because all of us can learn new things. Put it in the comment. Learn new things. Everything you know, you learned. You learned to walk. You learned your ABCs. You learned how to put words together. You learned how to multiply. You learned how to do your job. You learned how to drive. You learned how to brush your teeth. You are a learner. You're a learner. Say it. I'm a learner. Your life has been spent learning new things. So it doesn't matter that you don't learn today. And I put on my post earlier today, I said, listen, if y'all can go down the rabbit hole and know why Bishop Jakes had a crisis or that Drake is about to file a lawsuit, then you can learn some things about your own financial future. So what do I recommend? I recommend something called micro learning. Learning. What is micro learning? Micro learning it's really why I love TikTok, and everybody in Inner Circle knows I love TikTok. I love TikTok because it is a place that you can micro learn. So if I want to learn something about crypto, or I want to learn something about trading options, or I want to learn something about trading futures, I can go there and I can say, I'm going to take the next 30 minutes and I'm going to just start watching the videos. You will say, well, Pastor Sean, how do I know who's telling the truth? I don't initially. But what I'm going to do in that 30 minutes when I'm watching the videos is I'm going to get me a notebook and I'm going to start jotting down what is being consistently said by different people from different backgrounds. See? So let's say if I go and I say, okay, I want to know something more about crypto. I'm saying crypto because crypto is what I'm studying today, because some of my crypto that I bought in 2021 jumped up and I went, oh, let me turn some attention back here. So I go on TikTok. I just put in crypto, and then I started looking at my specific crypto that's growing up, right? And I start putting it in there, and I just sit for 15 minutes and I just watch the 30-second videos and I see what they're saying. And they started saying things like, this morning on this one particular crypto that I had that was going up, and I was trying to figure out why. They started talking about this lawsuit that had been resolved. So now I've been over here micro learning. I go and I try to understand more about the lawsuit. What does that mean? I go and see who the key players are. Lynn says she asked ChatGPT to prepare a study guide on crypto. And so a lot of times people don't get involved in the stock market, and people don't get involved in investing in crypto because you say, what if I lose money? You're not afraid to lose money, because every day that you stay at that job that doesn't pay you enough, you're losing money. And every time that you have helped that relative that won't make better choices, you losing money. You're not afraid of losing money. You're not afraid of losing money. And if you take these small increments and you say, you know what, I was going to buy a sweatshirt that I wasn't going to wear but one time anyway, and that sweatshirt cost me $40. I'm going to take this $40 and I'm going to try something over here in crypto, try something over here in the stock market. If I lose it, sweatshirt. But we have to stop. And I think that what happens for us sometimes is we sit back and we wait on someone else to come and teach us. That's why I start with what? No one cares more about your financial freedom than you do. No one is coming to teach you. And the truth of it is that until you open your mind up, even the teachers that are out there, those are the videos you skip over. You skip over the videos about financial freedom. Why? Because you're still more focused on the sweatshirt. So I began to train myself to pay attention to what I need to know, which is why I don't have time to be distracted about Drake. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to watch every Judge show. Why? Because I'm not getting mad. I'm getting rich. So I have to begin to participate in my own rescue. Somebody had to know that saying was coming today. I'm going to participate in my own rescue. So I'm going to tell you what I did when I didn't think I had a lot of money. When I didn't think I had a lot of money, I did the things that I told you. Instead of getting the soda, the appetizer, the meal, and the dessert, I would get the dessert, because y'all know I'm almost always pick dessert. I'm working on that. Pray my strength. I would pick the meal and the dessert. I would get water and appetizer, and I would take the money from the water and the appetizer, and I would put it in my account. And then I would either buy. I am not your financial advisor, and ultimately you know your own goals. But I built up a lot of stock by just spending $50 a month buying Walmart stock, just $50 a month. I increased my crypto, and somebody's like, would you tell me what crypto and what stock to buy? I'm not going to tell you. Why? Because my goals are not your goals, and you can learn. You can learn. You can learn. You know, a couple of years ago, Pastor Edwin and I, we did this thing with crypto. We made a lot of money with crypto, and we shared it with people. And I remember one of the guys saying, if you shouldn't share it with people, because if it doesn't work, they blame you. And I don't think that people blamed us when it went down, but I think that this is the mistake that people did make. I think that a lot of people, instead of saying, Pastor Edwin and Pastor Sean introduced me to this opportunity, and I'm going to learn as much as they know about the opportunity. What they said is, I'm going to wait on Pastor Sean and Pastor Edwin to tell me what to do. Now, here's where it gets interesting. There was this particular moment in it where I began to withdraw my money, and Pastor Strick was not withdrawing his money yet. Well, now what do? You don't know, because you didn't research, you didn't study. And we both made money, but our strategy was very different. You have got to stop giving your financial freedom to other people. No one cares as much as you do when you don't have the money to go to the doctor, when you don't have the money to help your grandchild, when you see somebody that's hungry and there's nothing you can do about it. Nobody can, when you can't buy a house, when you don't have $1,000 in the bank, when you can't afford to take a vacation, when you're nervous about the tariffs. Nobody cares about that more than you do. I need hearts. I need fire. I need you to engage because I'm here to irritate and provoke you to taking responsibility for your financial future. And to tell you this, you may not know anything about crypto or stock today, but let me tell you what I guarantee you. I guarantee you, if you watch videos, whatever your combination is, for 1 hour a day till the end of the year, on January 1st, you would know more than most people in this world. If you just said, I'm going to take an hour every day, I'm going to spend 30 minutes understanding crypto. I'm going to spend 30 minutes understanding the stock market. I'm going to read Bloomberg. I'm going to read these different things. I'm going to watch TikToks, and then I'm going to go to longer videos. I'm going to give me some books. If you would give it 1 hour a day in January, you could have you a plane, and you would take some action before January. But you cannot. I've watched this for a long time, and everybody who welcome all the new followers. I mean, the new watchers today. I hope you'll come back. But let me tell you what I've noticed. Even in my work, I'll offer a class, Soul Shift Money, and people would rather send me a seed than sign up for the class. I know that is because we have been conditioned in the body to think that what God is going to do is going to be magic. Now we're getting ready to end. Let's end with the woman from 2 Kings. If we look at one of my favorite stories is the woman from 2 Kings, the 4th chapter, the 1st through the 7th verse. Go read it for yourself. 2 Kings, 4th chapter, verses 1 through 7. There is this woman. She comes to the prophet Elijah. She says to Elijah, she says, my husband, your servant, is dead, and you know that he did fear the Lord. But the creditors are come to take our sons. Now, in that day, if someone did not pay their debts, they could take your children into captivity to work and pay off the debt. What do we know? We know that this was a man who went to church. We know that this was a woman who had a man who took care of her, and we knew that that man died. And when that man died, he had some debt. But you know what else we know? We know that he feared the Lord. So what does that tell me? That tells me you can love the Lord and still be broke. That tells me he said, she refers to him, she says, your servant, which means he wasn't a casual follower of Elijah, meaning he was probably with Elijah when he was serving and when he was going places and he was doing all of these things for him. He was still broke. Because being a greeter doesn't mean you go have financial prosperity. And being a preacher doesn't mean that you're gonna have financial prosperity. And singing on the praise team doesn't mean that you're gonna have financial prosperity. So you have to learn to do the things that will produce financial prosperity. So Elijah says to her, he says, what do you have in your house? This is one of my favorite scriptures for this reason right here, because I am both a woman and I have been a pastor for almost 25 years. And one of the things that I know is that if I come to you and I say, Sheila, I'm in a bad financial situation, and you say to me, what do I have in my house? Before I had a renewed mind, that is the last thing I want to hear. Because clearly I don't have nothing in my house. Because if I had something in my house, I would use what was in my house instead of coming over here talking to you, Sheila. And the man of God says to her, what do you have in your house? And she said, I don't have anything save a pot of oil. He doesn't say, oh my God, I don't know what you're going to do. All you have is some oil. He said, baby, this is what you're about to do. You're about to go borrow some vessels. Don't just borrow a few. You're going to take those vessels in the house and the oil is going to pour. Well, your oil is the money that you're setting aside in your opportunity account. And the Lord, as you study, the Lord is going to have you, your version of an Elijah, who's going to say, put some money over here, invest in this stock, learn how to do options, learn how to do crypto trading. And then you are going to be like that woman, because the Lord did not release, there was no need to release a miracle till she poured the oil. It's when she poured that the oil kept multiplying. When I gave God an opportunity account to work with and was willing to study, then God gave me opportunities to increase. But as long as I was sitting there just wanting Edwin to make more money, just hoping that I say this all the time. My friends laugh at me. When people, this is a big pet peeve of mine. When the lotto will get big, and people will say, man, if I won that lotto, here's what I would do. Man, I really wish I won that lotto. I'm like, I want y'all to know this. Hope is not a financial strategy. Now, you think that I'm going to tell you not to play the lotto. I'm actually not. I'm going to tell you that if I was sitting over here meditating on what I would do with the $394 million, I would at least buy a ticket, because you can't win the lotto if you don't play. Well, you can't increase in the stock market if you don't get in it. You can't increase in crypto if you don't get in it. And the thing I love about both the stock market and crypto is that you can get in for little. Like, you can't hardly buy real estate for little. I know people say you can, but you really can't unless you got some assets or somebody willing to let you use their money. But you mean to tell me that I can take the $25 that I was going to spend at Walmart for a shirt that looked just like another shirt I have in my closet, and I can take that and I can buy me a fractional share of Walmart? And that if I do that over and over and over again, and I take the dividends from Walmart, that it's going to cause me to increase. And so the $25 that I would have spent week after week and not know where it was, it will now be in an account sitting there that's multiplying for me. So then the woman comes back to Elijah. Well, literally, as long as her sons bring her a vessel, what happens? The oil keeps flowing. Maybe you're not increasing because you ain't giving the Lord nothing to flow with. Because you're too distracted, because you're still upset about who didn't vote with us, and you're still upset about how they don't respect you on the job. Are you upset enough to say, you know what? Listen, I have a beautiful business. I am so incredibly thankful to God and to the people who help me with my business. I'm so thankful for that. All the clients that I have. But I made a decision. I was like, wait a minute, because I got a new saying for y'all. I made a decision that I need to make as much in my investments as I do in my job. Because even though I have a great job and work that I love, the truth of it is that if I got sick, I couldn't keep doing this job. So I heard somebody say this, and this is my mantra moving forward: more profits than wages until it's only profits, no wages. Now, I don't think I would ever quit doing this work, because I believe it's the work that God has called me to do. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that some of you are so tight because all you do is trade. All you do is trade your time for money. And we're getting ready to come into a system where no one cares. Now, if you have questions, let me know, because we're getting ready to go. But let me tell you the last thing I did when I was trying to get out of this situation and this thing that I'm doing right now. Every time I got unexpected income, I was going to take some of that unexpected income and put it where? Tell me where we go put it. Come on, where we putting it? In that opportunity account. Or I was going to buy some crypto, or I was like, real talk, like right now, if all of your needs are met and somebody unexpectedly sends you $40, why not take the $40 and put it where? I believe a lot of times we don't understand how to gather the fragments. Gather the fragments. Now you got to go and read this, but this is when Jesus feeds the 5,000 and the little boy brings his lunch to him, and Jesus multiplies the lunch. And Jesus says to him, he says, gather the fragments so they won't be lost. That's my next live I'm going to do. I'm going to either do it Friday or Monday. I'm going to talk about gathering the fragments. This reallocation, this finding where money is, this is gathering the fragments. This is gathering the fragments. He says, don't. And when he gathered the fragments, the boy who had the lunch, it started with a lunch. But when they gave it back, it was 12 baskets of fish and bread. Why? Because they gathered the fragments. Listen, where are you going to find your money to invest? Where are you going to find your money for your opportunity account? You're going to begin to gather the fragments. You're going to start gathering the fragments. And do you know the thing I love about gathering the fragments? Oh, you got to come back Friday or Monday. I'll let y'all know. The thing I love about gathering the fragments is that nobody would have missed the fragments, and nobody knew how many fragments it was until they gathered them. They didn't know it was 12 baskets of fragments, because if they had known it was 12 baskets of fragments, nobody would have had to tell them to gather the fragments, right? But the fragments was dispersed so many places. I was talking to my friend today as we get ready to go. If you have any questions, ask them. I was talking to my friend today, and I got up this morning, and I got up this morning and I'm reading Bloomberg, because I start the day by reading Bloomberg, reading Investopedia. I get these emails sent to me, and I'm training myself, number one, to wake up, pray first, and then to immediately start to read about what's happening in the market so I can understand whether something is an intelligent decision or not. And I'm sitting there, and I go to TikTok, and somebody mentions an account. And I remember that I used to have an account. And I think I probably lost all of the crypto that was in that account. Y'all, why I go to that crypto account and I had $3,800 in it? Gather the fragments. I'm thinking that the account is empty. I'm thinking that I done lost everything out of it because crypto went down in 2022, but it started to come back up. And baby, it was $3,800 in that account. And the last time I looked, just before I got on the live, it was $3,960. Gather the fragments. So y'all tell me what y'all takeaways are as we get ready to go. Tell me what your takeaways are and what you committed to do. Because you don't have time to be a victim, and you don't have time. You are not a princess. You are not Snow White. Nobody's coming to kiss you. The Holy Ghost is already in you. You a queen. You need to get up and you need to make some boss moves. So y'all tell me what y'all going to do, or if you have any questions, and then we will get out of here. Thank y'all for joining me today. What do I read? That's a good question. I read a lot. So if you are not a big reader, I could overwhelm you, but I do something called microdosing, which is where I pick a topic and just kind of listen to 15 different people talk about it on TikTok. I look for the things that I find that are similar. I then go and I move to articles, I move to YouTube videos, and then to books. Kim said, from your last teaching, I took my fragments and got shares at Walmart. And that's why when people be praying, oh, can I tell y'all one more thing, Black women? Can I tell y'all one more thing? I want y'all to hear me. The strategy of moving our money is the wrong. Like every time something happens, people refer back to the to the boycotts for Martin Luther King's day. And that was an effective strategy for that day, but that's not the strategy that works for us today. The strategy that works for us today is ownership. I just said the inner circle. I said, imagine what would happen if we all, I didn't call it opportunity account. I was still calling it an investment account. But let's say we all were able in the next 90 days to put $2,500 in our investment account. And we were all able to go into the same bank and put an account in there. And we were able to have a conversation with the president of that local branch or who manager of that local branch and say, listen here, I could say I'm coming here and I got 700 other women that are coming with me and we're all going to put $2,500 here. And in exchange for that $2,500, what we have an expectation of is that when we have legitimate opportunities for businesses, we expect to be given consideration. Now, where I got this from is a story that's actually incredibly old. Years ago, I happened to go to, I'm not AME. I just went with a friend, but I went to this AME convention and they talked about how many years ago, I don't remember either in New York or Baltimore, that there was a Black church that was trying to expand. And the bank refused to give them money because of prejudice and all of those things. And there was a lady in the church, not a preacher, just a lady in the church. And she said, but we all bank there. And she said, well, if they won't give our church the money, we should all go get our money. And she organized a pullout that everybody in that church would line up outside of that bank and all request their money. I want you to know that after about the 10th person had requested their money, the president called the pastor and said, we can finance this. It was Baltimore. Yeah, listen, I love that story. And the reason they were able to get that for their church is because they had enough accounts there to make a difference. We keep thinking the solution is boycotting. But here's why boycotting doesn't work. I live in Northwest Arkansas. In Northwest Arkansas, it's 3% Black. So when they say, well, don't get your groceries from a white grocery store. Well, where would y'all like us to get our grocery store? You think the people who live like that should starve to death? What we gonna do, starve to death trying to prove a point? No, what we need to do is we need to allocate resources and begin to invest in these companies. Because when we invest in these companies and I don't know that listen, I'm not your expert. But I will tell you this. I know that every time I open up a financial investment account, they ask me if I have 5% of ownership in any stock. That tells me that 5% makes a difference. Now, that's many millions of dollars. But what if we could do it together? But we can't do it together if everybody keeps spending their money on sweatshirts, waiting on somebody to come rescue them. So that is my takeaway today. I hope that you have had a soul shift. Kim said, and let us not forget that these places employ people of color. I'm very adamant about being Black right now, because this is my own thing. Black. Why? Because what we find is that in crisis, people of color aren't the people who stand with us. So I'm Black, but they employ Black people, and I care about that. So I hope y'all got something from this. Thank you, Kim. I hope y'all have an amazing Thanksgiving. Also, listen, if you believe that this teaching was good today and you believe that this is a teaching you should sow a seed into, could you put a 7 in the account? If you think that this is a teaching, if you go, this is a teaching and this is a teaching, I should sow a seed in right now. Could you put a 7 in the account? Kim, she put a 7 in the account. Let's see. Anybody else go put a 7 in the account? Because I'm trying to see something. Oh, look at all these 7s. Don got a 7. Robin got a 7. Pastor Chris got a 7. So whatever amount you was about to give me, go ahead and put it where? Where are we putting it? Where are we putting it? Where are we putting it? So you tell me what's in your opportunity account now? How much did your opportunity account for listening to this? Because I'm trying to get you to see that you have money. There you go. There you go. So now your eToy has $75 more toward her opportunities than she had when it started. Thank you, Kim. I do love y'all so much. Yolanda has $120 more than when she started for opportunity. LaTanya, yeah, you knew it. Listen, And it's not that I don't believe that people should sow into me, but here's what I'm not okay with. I know I'm good ground, baby. I know you can harvest off a seed here, but I am not okay with you guys still being trained to only sow into people who are preaching when you don't have any money in your account. Now, if the Lord tell you to sow something to me, you can do that. But right now, I ain't focused on that. I'm focused on us leveling up as a group. And I want y'all to have a wonderful day. And I'm about to go because I need to go look and see what the stock market and crypto is doing before we close, before the stock market go be closed tomorrow, because I'm still a student in trading. Thank y'all. I love y'all. Have a great day. Thanks for hanging out.